XM3s, the Sonys, Bluetooth active noise cancelling headphones. I got them. And in this video, comparing them to the XM2s, which I bought first because they were quite a bit cheaper. And here's the XM2s. So, what do you need to know? Well, fantastic sound quality. Bluetooth's good. Active noise cancelling, amazing. Revolutionary. USB-C on these. Are they worth the price increase? Because that's what we're really looking at here. At the moment on Amazon, the Sony XM3s, the full name is WH1000 XM3. They are £307. It's a little bit of a decrease. They have been $330 for a while. I bought these from an importer from Hong Kong for $280. So he probably just didn't pay tax. Meanwhile, I got the XM2s. I think you can get them new now for around $250 maybe. But I got them used for $200. Used but in flawless condition. The guy obviously just didn't get on with them. I've actually already got a buyer for these that I'm meeting in a few hours to sell them for $190. So I took them for a test drive and it worked out really well because it converted me. These are my first pair of active noise cancelling headphones. So in this review I'm going to try and focus on the two models of Sony's, what sets them apart, is they worth the price increase on the XM3s. I'll try and avoid really comparing to say Bose, or I know there's the new Surface headphones because I just haven't tried them. I tried the Bose in store, but you can't really get a feel. I just don't like Bose sound. If I wanted to be bored by listening to music, I could do that for free. I don't have to pay for the privilege. Bose. So, the XM3s. The biggest thing, and I'll tell you off the bat, why I'm keeping them and why I'm happy to pay the price increase. Not happy, but you know, the fit. I think the build is really similar, decent. There's more metal on the XM2s, if you can see. Kind of metallic here. I think it is just plastic. This band is metal. This might be metal inside. It certainly flexes like metal, but it's covered over. This has a more, perhaps, yeah, just a metallic finish. So the headband is a lot less. So why I'm keeping them is comfort. You can see the headband here, hopefully if I bring it up. It's got this metal, which reinforces the headphones. No problem stretching, absolutely no problem. No problem with torsion, you don't hear a thing. Very limited padding. In fact, when I press in, I can sort of feel the ridges where the padding, it feels like it sort of clips in as a part. I can feel those ridges. On your head, after a while, the padding is just not enough. And obviously there's none around the sides. XM3s, it was a big complaint. XM3s, lots more. I can't feel anything. As I squeeze, like there's obviously some reinforcement in the middle, and I've added a little bit of padding on top. I think it looks quite plush and lush. But loads more padding on your head. Also the shape. Try and show it here. This, at least for me, this is the shape of a human head. This is the shape of my head. On my head, these have to clamp too much inwards in order to stay on my head. Because my head just, this is all dead space. My head's like here. So this is just not helping the fit. And this is just a little bit too constrictive in on my skull. And of course the limited padding means I can feel it pressing down. These match my head a much better shape. There's much less air gap there if I look in a mirror. And padding on top, it means I can actually have a couple of different positions. I can wear them a bit further back on my head, and then you get fatigued with that after some time. If you fancy a change, I can wear them a bit further forward. Now if they were further back on the XM2s on me, they just didn't fit properly, because further back on my head is a bit higher up. So I'd have to extend these a bit. But as soon as I extend these, I could feel it really prominently dragging down my ears. I don't know what it is about this shape. As soon as I extended these, and I've got quite a large head. I would not usually wear headphones fully in, but I had to. As soon as I extended them, I could feel them like trying to complete this circle. So they would drag down on my ears. I could feel them on the top of my ears, pulling down. Whereas these, I can give them just a little bit, and then they sit and they match my head. And finally, the really key issue. XM2s. Let's look inside. Paddy, right. I actually think there's more padding there, but it's softer. I think this is memory foam on the XM3s. Hopefully you can sort of see this. It looks a bit bigger. Once I press it, this is definitely a firmer press. There's a softer press, it just goes in. I'm not a big headphone modder, so I've not tried removing the pads or modding them at all. You have to go to another video for that. But the XM2s. This XM2, XM3, this is just not the shape of a human ear. Let's try and get some light on it. This is just not the shape of a human ear. My ear here and here gets pressure. Also, you'll notice, hopefully, I'll try and focus. It's a little bit white coloured. That's skin off my ear, I believe, because you can see the drivers protrude so much. I'm touching the driver at this point. The drivers here protrude so much, they're touching my ear when they're on. So this bit is pressing around the tips and the edges of my ear. I find that really uncomfortable after a short period of time. I wore these on a 14-hour flight to Jakarta. They're amazing, but they hurt my ears. This is the shape of a human ear. You can see they've widened it. It's a round, right? It's starting to be triangular. If we feel focus. And although I can feel the driver in there, it's set in. So these don't press into my ear. This driver, this little foamy bit, never touches my ear. It's a really big improvement on fit. And that's why I'll be keeping the XM3s. So you can appreciate the styling, and of course they do have it in a cream colour that's typically a bit cheaper at the moment. I'm looking on Amazon. £307.19 for the black with gold accents. £302.69. Save about a fiver, £4.50. Great British. For the champagne-y colours with, I don't think the accents are gold. I think they're just a different colour cream. I don't know, my hair, I have black hair, so it just makes sense to me, I think, to buy and wear black headphones. I don't need them to stand out any more than they are. I think comfort, for me, just the XM3s, they've done it. They've done it. For comfort, finally. So, why are you buying Sonys in general? Sound. The sound is fantastic, and I think one of the big contributors to that is that I don't have an iPhone, and they support aptX HD and LDAC. Whereas on Android, the Bose and the Surface headphones, they only support SBC, which is a really low bitrate Bluetooth codec. I think it's in the region of 160 kilobits per second. So if you're listening at 320 kilobits per second MP3s, they're gonna be compressed, and you're gonna lose. I can hear it. Like, people can have their own opinions and, you know, try them in store and whatever. I can really hear the difference. My phone, if you're on Oreo, you can get aptX, you can get LDAC. Or if you've got a Sony phone, I don't know how far back that goes. That, I think, streams at about, I think it's over 1,000 kilobits per second. So for me, I wouldn't tell the difference between that and a lossless, you know, over a cable with a FLAC file or something. 1,000 is well enough. But I don't have an Oreo phone. I've got a OnePlus 3, and that supports aptX HD. I think that streams up to 900 kilobits per second. So easily encompasses 320 kilobit per second MP3s. And for me, I think it would do lossless files. I wouldn't really have a difference. You can plug a cable in, but why? They're Bluetooth headphones. You did buy them to be Bluetooth. And they're supported on both. And they're not in a competition. Obviously, I also think Sony have done the drivers nicely. They've got really nice dynamic range, imaging between them. In my opinion, the XM2s, they're clearly less bassy. And this is on the product material. And people have found this. And the XM3s, they have upped the bass a bit. When I first put them on, I really liked them. But now that they've burnt in, I'll probably use them for 60 hours, maybe. Probably 2 full charge cycles. The bass has come to overwhelm a little bit for me. I'm not a mega bass head, although I listen to quite a bit of electronic music. Like prog house, future house lately more, maybe a little bit chill house. Bit of dubstep, but for me the bass makes these a touch muddy, whereas these are really clear. These, like instrument clarity, vocal clarity, separation of frequencies is really nice on these. I actually think it has the edge for my listening tastes. On the material, they claim they've done something with like an analog DAC in these. I don't fully understand, like, how do you do it in the space, right? But I haven't really noticed a difference in quality. I just noticed a little bit bassier. But really good. And I can really notice the quality difference if I change to SBC or if I connect a device that doesn't support aptX HD. Whereas I can't tell the difference between aptX HD and plugging a cable into these. Although I can on my computer, because if I plug a cable in, I get a little bit of noise, a little bit of hiss, just a tiny bit, like it's like a tiny little ground loop or something. I don't actually get that on my phone. I don't know if it's something to do with, I've got an SMSL AD18. I don't know if I don't have perfectly clean power to it. That annoys me actually, because I can just hear it as soon as the music ends. So I don't really use them on my computer. Actually, I don't get it on my microphone XLR mixer input. That has a headphone out. I could use it with that. Anyway, sound, yeah, just really, really good. Oh, I will mention something here while we're looking at them like this. Textured surface on the XM2. So you should be aware they have touch controls. So volume up, volume down, volume up, volume down. Same on both. It's exactly the same on both. Previous track, next track. Swipe and hold, and it'll start skipping through the track, and it skips really nicely. Like, you can hear the music going quickly. So you can stop quite accurately where you want to stop. Double tap, play, pause. Double tap, play, pause. There might be other controls like long press for the assistant, but I've actually remapped the buttons for the assistant. But this is not going to be easy on video, especially because it's black. There's a textured surface here. That is much more responsive to your fingertips, or my fingertips. I barely ever had false presses or presses ignored. You know, I double tap, I get a beep, it play pauses. I go like that, I get a beep, the volume goes up. I go like that, beep, next track. Okay, they've decreased the volume, which is nice. Because what that means at low volumes, what you get with this, at low volumes, you go up and you get a beep that takes you out of the music for a little bit, because it's much louder than the music. This, it doesn't scale with the audio, it's just a lower volume. So at high volumes, you can't actually really hear the registry beep. At low volumes, it's really nice though, you just get beep, 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 beep. Okay, but something about this surface, I've trained myself to strike it slightly differently, like I'm sort of pressing into it. What I find is it just doesn't have enough friction. I think my finger isn't making clean presses, like it's swiping slightly or something, because I get a lot of missed presses. Play, pause, I can easily press 3 times to get it. Like, most of the time I press twice. I go like that, nothing, and then it registers. So I really dislike this smooth surface. I find it a lot more difficult to deal with. You will notice here, this is the microphone, the same on this. This is not a USB free charging port. Bit troll of Sony there. I do think that looks more stylish in gold. That's the microphone for the noise cancelling. Microphones, that's a problem. They only have noise cancelling microphones, as far as I can tell. As far as I can hear, or other people can hear when I call them. What this means is, when you go on a call, people hear all the ambient noise that the microphones are specifically designed to pick up and cancel out as part of the noise cancelling. What this means is, if you're in a nice quiet room, they hear you really clearly, because your voice is part of ambient noise. If you're in a slightly noisy room, you get an effect, or at least I do. My callers will say, oh, I can hear your colleague, I can hear the car outside having a conversation, I can hear the radio really clearly. You're a bit muddy, you're a bit muffled. Could you speak up, please? I'm getting all this background noise. It's because they don't have dedicated microphones. They're just using the microphones that they're using for noise cancelling and using them if you make a call. So that's a bit annoying, but they are very, very clear. I get callers that are saying, I can hear pitch perfect of Radio 1 outside your window. Could you speak up a bit? Bit frustrating that you've paid this much and they couldn't fit a proper noise cancelling microphone for your calls. I don't, however, get an effect, which I have had with other Bluetooth headphones, where it goes mono if you're on a call and maybe you only get audio through one ear cup, or the audio dramatically lowers quality something. I don't get that. Stays full quality, stays stereo, that's really nice. It adds some ambient, it turns off the noise cancelling, and I feel like, on both, it adds some ambient sound so that you can hear yourself speak, because it can be quite disconcerting if you're on noise cancelling headphones, you can't hear yourself speak. So yeah, the clarity's there, but think about your environment. Okay, buttons. Really hate these new buttons. I don't understand. These were recessed, but a little bit like if you touch type, they've got these little nodules, like the F and J key when you touch typing. So you can feel it really nicely. You run your hand and you feel. Now, when you look at the headphones, in my opinion, the buttons they look quite high up, but they're very low down when on your head. If you think about it on your head, it's really low down. I would often press the ambient when I wanted the power. Now the ambient, on the default, it cycles through noise cancelling, let the ambient sound in, turn all the features off. I've changed that, so it's the Google Assistant. Press it once and it tells me the time, and it will tell me notifications. I can hold it in and give it a command. I believe these, I don't know if they both, the XM3s I got a notification saying they now support Alexa. I haven't actually done the update because I don't care for Alexa, I have it. And I believe they support Siri on the iPhones, but not tested, I'm an Android man. Where was I? Buttons. They've made them raised buttons. These are, imagine if the buttons on your phone were crap, because they have no travel, and the little bit of travel they have is really mushy, and they're made of plastic, not metal. That's what these buttons are. These buttons are from a $99 smartphone in 2013. Super mush, no feedback. You have to press them ages. You have to press the power on both ages to get them to turn on, which stops false presses. That is not comfortable. And then I've changed this button because I never want the ambient sound. Ambient sound. Why don't I want the ambient sound? It sounds like you're underwater. Like, I can see it. It sounds really cool on paper. Like, if I'm cycling, I want to listen to music, but I need to hear the traffic. But it just does something to the sound that is really unnerving and, like, slightly whooshy, slightly underwatery. It reminds me most of what things sound like if you've ever gone scuba diving. Nah. So I don't really use it. Has the feature where you cover your hand and it gives you ambient. It's alright if I'm on the train and the ticket conductor wants my ticket, but you look like a bit of a wally. why don't you just take the headphones off, you know? I don't see it myself as a huge feature. They're Bluetooth. What's the Bluetooth like? Fine, absolutely fine. I've got some Bluetooth earbuds in a cupboard somewhere. Like in-ear monitors. Who makes them? Oh, Zolo Liberty Plus. Zolo Liberty Pluses. Now those, the Bluetooth on those is awful. I think they just can't get a big enough antenna in such a small device. Or enough power, maybe it would hurt the battery life. They will cut out. Like if I go past high walls either side of me walking, they'll cut out because they're getting like interference from the walls. These, no, none of it. No, rock solid. 100% rock solid. All the time. Like once or twice I've been on a train and another train passed us and I got a brief cutout because the trains are quite powerful Wi-Fi and stuff on them and quite a lot of Bluetooth devices interacting when that happens. Rock solid. 10 meters, a wall and a half, and then when I close the door into that other room, it's starting to cut out. Yeah, no complaints from me with the Bluetooth. Very, very quick. These I thought were quick. These are exceptionally fast at powering on, saying Bluetooth connected, and going away with your music. Both of them, the Google Assistant, I can't seem to find a way to change it off the man, the British man. I like the British woman. We've covered most of the things here. What's the other feature? Yeah, USB-C, if you fancy. It's just not a biggie for me because not enough stuff's converted yet. It's a standard 3.5mm jack. Anything goes in, happy as Larry. However, I want to do a classic Zeos cable comparison, a cable call out. I want heads at Sony to roll for this. I've paid more money. You've given me a newer headphone. Let's look at these cables. Let's look at them flow when I just hold them. I hold them in the air. Which is the cable from the newer, more expensive headphone? It's the crap one. Which is the cable from the headphone I'm selling today? And I'm very sad about. It's this really nice one. Beautiful. No kink. Got its own weight to it that just holds it lovely. It's not braided. It's got a sort of slight plastic patterning. Hopefully we can get a focus on that. No, totally struggling. Really struggling. Focusing on a screen behind. Come on. Hopefully you can just see that. Lovely cable. Really nice. Meanwhile, mimsy little cable. Dude, you could strangle a grown man with this thing. Proper cable. Mimsy little weak little thing. It scrunches up. Doesn't hang properly. Really sad. I'm disappointed about that. Alright, moving on. Slightly different box design, and I think why they chose a different cable is they want it to be in the box now. Whereas on the XM2s, it's in this on the back. However, the XM3s also have this on the back. So, what you playing at, Sony? XM3's USB-C, and that is the length of the charger you get. Is it really that expensive? Copper in a cable, guys? You do in both get an airline adapter, and the last plane I flew on actually needed it, although the 3 previous planes I flew on had a native 3.5mm. That just gives you an LR split on certain planes, and that is in both. I think it's just literally the exact same thing. Do you get a longer cable in the XM2s? An excellent question. You do. Let's have a look at the boxes. Boxes. The same. Okay. XM2. To show you the cable that is within. I've put everything away nicely. Okay. You get a longer cable, yeah? That might be important, or you might have lots. The thing is, you've probably got loads of micro USB cables. but you probably don't have loads of USB-C cables. So it's slightly galling. What do you get? Okay, that's basically it. You get a box, you get some documentation. I don't think I was going to mind too much. Quite nice, like high quality. I'm actually going to shut over there. We'll look at the back of the box in a sec. XM3s. I can't remember how I opened them. They slide out. Ooh. Do they? Yeah, they do. Oh my days! It hurts my finger to do that. Right. Some shipping information. And is that the same? Okay, pretty dull. Let's get rid of all that. On the box, these are in Chinese because I imported them. Have I missed anything that Sony wants me to sell to you? Hands-free calling with HD voice. Well, HD environment more like. Quick charging. Yeah, charges nice and quick. Like, fine. If you left it on charge for half an hour, you'll be alright for the rest of the day-ish. 30 hours? 30 hours charge definitely for both. Amazing. Lets you do like 2 international flights. If you want to cross the globe, you can do it in silence. Voice assist function. I think that means assistant. Yeah, okay. Yes. Headphone cable. Woohoo! Carrying case. Ooh, carrying case. Carrying case for the XM3's got a little bit more structure to it. If I don't zip it up... Okay, I just pushed it a bit hard. If I don't zip it up at all, it's a hard shell case. And then I can zip it, and it's got quite a nice gold champagne music. And it's got a little tag. The tag is totally sewn in. On the XM2, I don't zip it up. It doesn't have quite the same fit or quite the same rigidity. It sort of collapses on itself. So in my bag, I would always have to zip it back up before I put it back in because it just sort of folds. If we zip it up, it's got just a black fabric pull. And it's got a bigger tie and it's got a clip for putting like on your belt or something. And it is smooth. Now, there's an irony here, of course, because what they did with the XM3s was they took a textured surface where it was useful and made it smooth. They took a smooth surface where it didn't matter and they made it textured. I don't mind either way. It's slightly greyer. Don't know if that picks up on this camera. Blackier, greyer, like a bluey black, more graphite black. And on the back. So as a final little thing, let's get some music up on these XM3s. I'll turn them on again for you.
Power on. Bluetooth connected.
Oh, the comfort. Quite into a Mighty S album at the moment. Oh, yeah, no, the sound quality I can't fault at all. And I'd previously tried Bluetooth headphones and been really unhappy with what they've done to the audio, and God, for the amount you pay for technology, it should not sound worse than, for example, a pair of $55 Philips Schuts, right? These babies, these compete. Of course, they close back is a different kind of sound. It's good sound. These just punch way above their price point, as all Zeos viewers know. Noise cancelling. That's the final thing to pick up on. That and the app. Noise cancelling is so good. I'd never used active noise cancelling at all before. I actually bought the XM2s because I think I just heard about them. I got given some Bose headphones by my bank for switching banks. Well, this happens in England. And that got me into on-ear and over-ear headphones. I discovered that these active noise cancelling Bluetooths. I had a flight coming up to Jakarta, Bali. It was like 14 hours direct from London. I thought, you know what, I'll do it. They're made for flying. It was revolutionary. I slept so well on that flight. I think I had 5.5, 6 hours solid, undisturbed sleep on a flight. That's just incredible. And there was a baby on the flight that cried the whole way. Every time I took my headphones off to get some food or go to the bathroom, this baby was crying. And I didn't hear any of it with the headphones on. It cut out 90% of that drone, that unforgiving. And I was quite far back on the plane, like behind the wing, behind the engine. It's droney as hell. Really gets inside my brain, honestly, on flights. And these just cut straight through it. This is really blissful, even without music on. The XM2s will power off. If they don't have a cable plugged in, you can trick them with a cable. If you're not listening to music, after 5 minutes they'll power off to save your battery. So you can't just use them as noise cancelling without music, unless you plug a cable in to a source to trick them. XM3s in the app, you can customize how long you want before they power off, and I think you can disable it. That could be a feature for you. It's not for me. I like music, you know. On a plane, favourite thing to listen to if I'm going to sleep is Max Richter's album Sleep. It's 8 and a bit hours long. I think I just started playing. I will show you quickly the app. Hopefully you can see it reasonably well here. So these are your options. This is really difficult with the camera. I can't really do it. You can change how much ambient sound you want in or not. I just don't like the ambient sound. You can do the optimizer. I find the effect of the optimizer is, and I don't know if it's a placebo, I feel like when I do it, usually the noise cancelling gets slightly better. It cancels slightly more noise, and I hear slightly more background hiss. So, and then that sort of degrades over time. Maybe my ears get used to a baseline, and then it boosts again. So there's no point. I don't really optimize. On a plane, it might matter because it might have an atmospheric change. Equalizer, the key thing is don't use it. It turns you into SBC. And what you want to see here is aptX HD, aptX, LDAC. If you're on an iPhone, I think you can use AAC with the equalizer, so that's a boost. Because AAC is decent. AAC is about MP3 320 kilobits per second. I think quite a lot of people can't really notice the difference. But you can't get AAC because it's licensed by Apple. Can't get it on an Android. So you want to see that aptX HD. It will tell you. I have checked the Bluetooth Snoop logs. It is playing aptX HD when it says so there. It'll tell you what's playing by MyTS. DSEE, Google it. It's some proprietary Sony technology for upsampling lower bitrate tracks. I find it reminds me of a product used to be called X-Fi on the PC. They did sound cards that did this upsampling. On X-Fi it was quite blatant. They just sort of expanded the mids, expanded the dynamic range. This is a lot more subtle and has some real science in it. Consensus online seems to be you can keep it on. I've kept it on. I'm very happy with it. And that are the XM3s. Honestly, I bought them for comfort. They delivered on comfort. If your ear is the shape of an XM2 and your head can resist and survive the clamp, in my opinion, these are better headphones. Only just. They're basically the same, but these cost more, so these are clearly better value. However, these fit a human ear. Either way, the noise cancelling is amazing. The sound quality is amazing. I really recommend them. It's actually, now these are my daily drivers. I was always an in-ear monitor man. I discovered a few years back Sound Magic. They do fantastic in-ear monitors. But now I'm a convert. I'm an on-ear noise cancelling. I use them at work when I just need to get an hour's work done. Stick them on, go away. Yeah, really nice. Pity they got rid of the texture. It might look better, but for me, it's a real impact on use. The Sonys.